going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Back with another video. This time it's kind of not really a garage update video. Again, you guys might be like, what the hell is going on? The whole point of moving to Vegas is to get a house that has a bigger garage and whatnot, but things changed. We ended up living in a high-rise apartment situation, so this is currently my storage unit where I'm storing 1 or 2 bikes at a time, and it depends. I have another location where I live, and I can park also a vehicle or 2, including my car. So, but in the meantime, we have some bikes here in Vegas. The other bikes are still in California, which we're going to be riding very, very soon. Something else you guys gotta see is this. Believe it or not, when I first opened the storage unit, it was at 131 degrees. And I've seen it at 133, so absolutely not acceptable. I don't think this is the best for the bikes. You know, the bikes are literally warm to the touch. We're gonna pick up my M1000 and we're gonna be riding the M1000 in the next video, probably for you guys, just because I can take another person on that bike. So we're gonna be taking my girlfriend again on this right here. That's why we have this seat and not the carbon fiber seat. Yeah, this place is a mess. I have a bunch of things in here still, all messy, still, you know, my old tools and just a bunch of random stuff, and a ton of like boxes and things just kind of all over, to be honest. And yeah, so this is kind of the update. That being said, this is definitely going to be temporary because, like I said, I did not know it's going to be this hot, and I feel bad. Like, the bike is already running super hot. Now it's going to have to be left here. Luckily, I am putting them on the rear stands, but even the front tire is going to be messed up. Another drawback, I think, from the heat is the seals, the fluids, everything is going to degrade a lot faster. Now, I do keep up with my maintenance with the fluids, but the seals not as much. You know, I mean, there's a lot of seals, and I think that's why that 1000 started leaking on me early on when we first moved here, because again, I've had this pinched situation, but it was never bad enough because I don't think the oils got to these type of temperatures before, and now it's even worse. So fingers crossed these bikes are gonna be okay and can kind of handle the heat. We just have to ride. In California, we were struggling with traffic, and over here we're struggling more with heat. So what we have to do is essentially just ride around the times where it's not as hot, so either early on or night rides. And I think those are the best solutions. Obviously, can't do much night rides with some of the bikes like the Xtrenta. That's why I'm kind of like not unsure about bringing the H2R here for now, until we figure out, you know, either a warehouse situation or, you know, another cooled storage unit, or, you know, just move to a house, which is kind of the topic of this video. What is the next step? Obviously, this is kind of like a little, I'm gonna call it like a garage tour, even though it's not really that. But if you guys notice, this is like a little bit smaller than my previous garage back in California, the OG one that we had. So it's not a horrible solution in the time being. It's just obviously more of a hassle. Back then I was complaining, but I had a 1-car garage that is big, that fit all my motorcycles, which was really nice. Now obviously we're gonna keep the bikes separated until I get a Sprinter van situation sorted out. Obviously, a warehouse costs a lot of money. A Sprinter van is going to be also expensive. I want to get a decent one. I want to set it up because, you know, I want my nice bikes to be protected as well. So, you know, altogether, it's going to be a lot of money. So therefore, in the meantime, we're putting a hold in everything because, unfortunately, I don't have a limited budget unless we sell a bike or 2. So that's definitely in the cards. I don't know when or if we're going to be doing that. This video is also going to be kind of short because I've been sweating, and I'm already sweating a lot. Like you guys saw, it's 125 degrees in here, so I am literally cooking. For those that don't know, I think that's around 50, I want to say, Celsius, or getting close to 50. And not only it's hot, it's also very dry. Now the dry heat is actually nicer because, to be honest, it feels cooler than that temperature because there is some sort of breathe. It's not like humid and you can't breathe. I would say nice weather is 80s. 90s is totally bearable. Over 100 is when it gets really bad. We've been filming for 5 minutes. I set up a couple things, another 5 minutes, and this bike is still running super hot. Let's see what temperature it's running at. It's still at 210. That is actually insane. So yeah, the fans are probably going to be kicking in for a minute. When we got here, the bike was almost at 230. Luckily, we shot her off in the 220s. Again, I don't like running my bikes this hot. It is going to be an issue with us, but in my opinion, this would be the best solution if A, we have a warehouse, B, we move to a house with a bigger garage, maybe not as big of a garage as I wanted in the time being just because of everything, or C, we just get a Sprinter van and just we keep traveling. And that could be also a cool feature. I don't know. It's also like a little difficult. I think the safest bet would be to move to a house. As much as I like the high-rise living situation, moving to a house would be, I would say, like pretty ideal to kind of just go have my bikes, be able to do like more garage type of videos when it's hot days like that, do builds, do all type of like crazy stuff, and we can still kind of travel. So I think the house might be like top option for now, but we don't know. We still have about half a year to decide. But I just want to show you guys, because I know a lot of you guys are like, show us the garage. I'm like, I don't have a garage, guys. Warehouse in LA that we're storing a lot of my bikes there. But again, LA is not the best riding situation, just insane amounts of traffic, especially with the bikes that I have. Even though it's not as hot, I just can't ride because it's traffic 24/7. Here, at least, even though it's hot, I can hop on the freeway. If I do one pull at a time, if I'm doing like top speed runs or anything like that, the bikes are still okay. Again, it's kind of like traffic or heat. You know, where we used to live was ideal, but you know, we've kind of done everything there, so I feel like we need to spice it up, unlock a different map, and that's what we're kind of doing here. I still have the H2. The H2 is with me, and now the M1000 is going to be with me, and this is going to go in storage. I think for the most part, just right now, just so I don't feel super bad for these bikes, I might swap to another storage unit that is climate controlled, so it's not, you know, as bad for the bikes in here, just some sort of airflow, so it keeps it cooler. Like even if it's around 100 degrees, that's way better than like 130 constantly 24/7 them baking in the heat. So I think maybe just get another storage unit, or maybe just send it on a Sprinter van, or maybe just sell 2 bikes and just do both. I don't know. There's a lot of options. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. I feel like getting a Sprinter van would be ideal because we can take a lot of my cool bikes. We take at least 2 to 3 bikes in that Sprinter van. We can do, you know, go to Monterey with those special bikes. We can do like quite a few things. And I think that could be definitely exciting and a different type of content. You know, and we can go to more events in different cities and more crazy stuff. So definitely a good option. Not 100% sure about it yet, but you know, that is a route. Or again, we can do a warehouse here, and then we can stay more local or between here and California for now, and then do traveling more in the future. So that's also a valid option. What else? Or we could just simply get a house instead of having a warehouse and the apartment situation, and just get a house, and then I can store most of my vehicles in one place, keep a couple in California, and do it that way too. I'm not really sure. Again, those are just options that I wanted to kind of run by you guys, depending on what type of content you guys want to see. I know you want to see builds. It's been a year, over a year officially, since I bought this on my birthday last year. So over a year since we've gotten a new motorcycle. I honestly don't think there's any new motorcycles on the market right now that are worth it to get. I think a close friend of mine asked me recently, like, what other bikes would you get theoretically? You know, let's say we have an unlimited budget and we don't care. And 4 bikes, actually I'll say 5 bikes popped in mind. Number 1 is a Bimoto ZH2. I think that's very high up on my list. Unfortunately, the one that was here sold, which is kind of a bummer because I really wanted it. But again, I was about to trade the M1000 and the R1M for that bike. So maybe it wasn't in the cards that I should do that. So yeah, that bike is no longer available, unfortunately. And would have been a cool addition, especially because it's kind of technically an H2. So again, would have been really cool, but you know, very expensive bike. Again, about $80,000 motorcycle, similar price to the Extrenta and the Super Veloce. So, you know, it wasn't really in the cards, so that didn't happen. But that's one of the bikes. The second bike would be a Super Leggera, either a 1299 Super Leggera or the same gen as mine, a V4 Super Leggera. Most likely a 1299, just because it's more different. But I've been told that reliability-wise, especially with how I want to ride them, like, you know, I want to top speed them. I actually run them through the red line a few times, rev them, take them to vents, they'll run hot. It might not be the most reliable bike. So, you know, maybe not the best option either. And also, that's another $80,000 bike. Again, this list is very crazy because just in the bike I'm about to list is more than $250,000. Actually, it's about $500,000 in like 4 or 5 bikes. So, yeah, unfortunately, I don't make that type of money, guys. So, drop a like, subscribe if you guys want to see more crazy stuff. I would love to get them, but can't do it at the moment, especially if I'm keeping my current collection and not trading anything in, one or the other, or a dozen Mitsubishi. But again, that's more of a collector bike. I feel like it's going to be similar to the HP4 race, where we're going to ride her a few times and then it's either going to have issues or it's going to be very difficult to ride and do more content frequently with. So not sure about that one, the dozen Mitsubishi, but would be sick, especially next to the HP4 race. I feel like, you know, kind of icons and legends of their times. So it would be very cool. Also, sorry if the fan is too loud. I'm just realizing, hopefully it's not too loud. But yeah, so we have that. What else do we have? After this Superleggera and the V4, I really like the Aston Martin mic. It's been growing on me. It's in a crazy, I believe, about $200,000 price tag. So don't think it's worth it, to be honest. But again, it's a very crazy motorcycle. Hopefully at some point we'll have a chance to see one in person, maybe even ride one, hopefully. You know, super sick bike. I think that bike would look absolutely amazing in the collection. Would love to ride one. So definitely on kind of like whatever you want to call it, like dream bucket list or wish list for motorcycles, crazy hyper bikes. So we're already at 3, correct? Yeah, that says the H2 Superleggera, a Superleggera, and the Aston Martin turboed bike. And number 4 is actually a Busa. I would like some sort of like turbo or the Super Busa, which is, I believe, is a supercharged Busa, something that is like 400 plus horsepower. Now we are chasing like a 400 horsepower build on the H2R, which, you know, again, when we get to that, that is part of the plan I want to do with that bike. But in the grand scheme of everything, I feel like that bike is still like very crazy, and you know, we need to do this build right. So I'm waiting for the right time to do that build. And since we're working right now on mainly the Super Veloce, finishing that bike, and then, you know, touch-ups on the Extrenta, and when these 2 bikes, because they are my newest, are complete, we'll go back to the H2R. That's the plan. Those are kind of like the, I guess, 4 bikes that I would love to have in the collection. Some sort of crazy Busa, it says the H2, a Superleggera, and the Aston Martin bike. But again, roughly, if you average out each one at about 100K, it's a little bit more than that, but let's just say each one is 100K. That's 400K right there. So yeah, that's absolutely insane. Mental, but you know, gotta have a wish list, gotta have a bucket list, or else, you know, what's next besides cars? Cars is fun. The last video we did with the DDE, I was very kind of like, I don't know, I loved riding a motorcycle with them, but also having a fun car would be a lot of fun. But if we get a fun car, again, that'd be roughly around $250,000. So I would have to sell, I would say, about half the collection to afford that without adding expenses, because again, I'm trying to be smart, trying to, you know, add value and not just trade stuff. So it's difficult choices. We got to figure out what route we're trying to go. And again, because we did this move, there's a lot of new things, new adapting to the city and whatnot. So it's not the easiest. It hasn't been the easiest, but the heat's starting to get to me, guys. It's still at 125 degrees over here, so crazy. But yeah, the heat is starting to get to me, so whew, can't talk anymore. But like I was saying, these are kind of the sacrifices that we got to make when we're making big changes, and hopefully we adapt. And I appreciate every single one that is still showing love and support. I promise we're gonna come back. We're gonna, you know, do more crazy stuff. The vibes are gonna be back. It's just, I need to figure out life en route. Right now we're still in this kind of transitional periods. I feel like it's gonna be like that for, I feel like this year or so at least. And once we figure that out, you know, we should be more comfortable and start like building a garage or a garage build. And I'll probably, if I tour warehouses, I'll take you guys with me and I'll show you guys, like, you know, a vision. Maybe we'll do some renders and stuff like that. I think that'd be fun too. But yeah, that being said, this is just a quick video just to show you guys, you know, what I'm dealing with right now until we figure out a better solution. Either, you know, get a different storage unit that is air controlled so I can bring another bike, comfortably leave a couple bikes in the storage unit without having to stress about them running hot, or we move to a house, or we get a warehouse, or we get a Sprinter van. We get to choose one. We can't do all of them. You know, I mean, obviously if I get a different storage unit where I can store bikes, then I can definitely do the Sprinter van with it too. But the warehouse or the moving situation, we gotta choose one or the other. So we'll see. Again, let me know down in the comments below what you guys think should be the best route. I would like to know your opinion because it does matter. So, you know, if you guys are craving travel vlogs, then we'll do that. Or I think it's best to kind of get situated in the Vegas lifestyle and we go between Vegas and Cali before we explore even more. That's pretty much it. I know it's not much, but you know, sometimes we start somewhere, sometimes we go up and we go back down and we're gonna start again somewhere. So drop a like, subscribe. Thank you guys for sticking around. Peace out, ride safe.